Settle in. I'm going to lose my mind and rant a little bit today. I know it already, and it's about current events. And I don't care how old this video is or how long it's been posted, it's still about current events. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. Here's the thing that's happened, I don't know, in the last couple of weeks or so, certainly within this last month. A huge open source intelligence tool that's been used for a ginormous social media company has been rendered essentially ineffective. For whatever reason, they let it go for however long they want to let it go. But then the social media company said no, and they changed things, and it shut down this particular kind of tool, I guess you could say, for investigating people using their social media accounts. Now, the problem I have with this is not that there's such a tool out there. Great. If you're using tools like that, more power to you. The problem I have is the number of people who have lost their minds that this tool is gone. Like now, skip tracing and background checks can't be done anymore. Yes, I understand if you're new to this, and even in the last 2, 3 years, maybe 5 years, whatever, however long you've been in the business, that's the whole world. That sitting down at the keyboard and tapping away and going through somebody's social media and their online presence, that's investigating to you. And yes, I will grant you that's a certain type of investigating, but it's not all the investigating. And these tools and tricks and hacks, that's the big thing, to use the word hacks for this computer stuff, how to hack access to this account or this information or whatever. And that's clever and cute, and I've used that word occasionally for things like, I think I have a video about hacking a morning routine or something like that. But this idea of these little tricks and tools being all there is to investigations, that's a load of baloney. Part of the problem, the biggest part of the problem, is not that these tools exist, but if that's all you know, you're doomed when they disappear, when they vanish. And they do over time. Things change, these tricks will disappear, and you've got to go back to the big picture, actually investigating. And what does that mean? That means having the information in your head, between your ears. How do you investigate? How do I find an address? How do I find a phone number? Where can I go when I hit a dead end? There are people, believe it or not, that don't have social media accounts. There are people that don't have an online presence. If you can't skip trace and find those people, if you can't do a background check on those people, then you're missing out on business, if nothing else. Think of it in dollars and cents. You're leaving money on the table. If you're a real world investigator, if you leave your office, and a lot of us, let's face it, work from home offices, and there's no problem with that, no shame with that, but to make it a little more clear, if you're willing to leave your house to do an investigation, that's something a lot of other quote-unquote investigators are not willing to do. Look, the problem with the tools online is they disappear, they change. And also, by the way, try going into court and answering the question where you found this piece of information or that piece of information. If you got to say, I went to some guy's website and he had a link that I could type in this and click and it came up with it for me, that's pretty lame. And like I say, those tricks and tools disappear. That guy can shut down his website. That guy, he can die. Do you think his family's going to keep that website up and running forever, keep it maintained? No, it's not going to happen. When you pass away, do you think your family's going to go online and make sure that all your online things are paid up to date and so that your internet presence can stay there? No, it's not going to happen. These things disappear. Look, when you have to track down a skip and you're at a dead end on all this social media stuff and everything else, really all you know is that his current girlfriend works at some dog grooming place. Can you do an investigation from there? Can you still find him? Are you the type of investigator that can borrow your sister's little dog and take it into the groomer and have its little nails clipped while you make small talk with the groomer, befriending that person? Yeah, maybe, okay, you hit it off with them and now you get liked to be added to their social media account. Great, now you got a lead, you got a foot in the door there. But what if they don't have a social media account? What if that's not the goal really even, is it? Can you take that little dog in there, get its nails clipped, and engage in small talk and direct it to the point where you're finding out where she lives? Because if he's living with her, if they're living together, that's where he's staying as well. Can you go in and talk about, hey, how's things going? Oh, we just moved and it's killing me. You know, you say these things. It's killing me because it's an extra 20 minutes to drive to work. And get the groomer to say something. Get her to talk to you about how far away she lives from work. And, oh, yeah, what part of town? And you take the expressway here. Yeah, it's murder with the construction. And you're finding out more and more. Now you're narrowing things down. Now you're learning about where she lives, which means you're narrowing down where he lives. Does that seem like a far-fetched example that would never work in real life? Hey, think again. That stuff works every single day. There are real investigators out there doing these things that seem a little crazy, but it gets the job done when everybody else hits a brick wall. So if I've got a trick or a hack or tip for you here, look, put the information into your brain, learn these things. You should be able to say to yourself, okay, I need an address on this person. And go down the list of the 13 different places you know you can get an address. And maybe you got to write this out on a slip of paper or a sheet of paper. That's the way I started out with. I had a 3-ring binder, and I had a page with just sources I could go to for an address, and a page I could go to for turning around a telephone number. And there's a list of things. So you're looking for the address, you look at the first thing on the list, and you say, oh, I tried that, I tried number 2. Oh, number 3 might be the thing. Maybe they subscribe to the newspaper. And yes, I grant you that's just a slim chance at this day and age that they subscribe to the newspaper. But you know what? Maybe his mom does. Maybe his grandma does. If you can find contact information for his mom, you can use that as a pretext to find him. You see how this works? So start to develop intellectually between the ears the knowledge that it takes to make this happen. If you don't have a list of sources for finding people, or maybe looking up addresses or something, and I did not intend to start out with this, but in my latest book, 51 Weird Private Investigator Tricks That Actually Work, I've got a chapter on 9 weird skip tracing tricks that actually work. If you check that out, there's going to be, I'm sure, at least one new one you don't know, maybe 8 or 7 or 9 that you don't know or hadn't thought about. That adds to your list. And these are not things where you got to click a link and punch in and some magic happens behind the screens. It's where you go, oh, I never considered looking here. That's a good source. Or this other source. And as you develop a list of things, and this one is just handed to you when you get the book, then you have resources that last a while, that you can use over time. What I'm describing to you is stuff that worked 100 years ago. Literally, private investigators were working 100 years ago, and they had to do it this way. It's stuff that works now, today, and it's stuff that'll work 100 years from now. Being able to get information from sources and people that others don't know about or can't do or are afraid to do, I get it. It's scary to go out in the real world and talk to people. There's bugs out there and bumblebees, and a June bug might fly and get caught in my hair. That's all frightening stuff. And I am exaggerating a little bit, and clearly it's been years since I've had to worry about a June bug getting caught in my hair. But look, yes, leaving behind the computer and going out into the real world, that can be scary. That's outside your comfort zone, but everything you want is pretty much outside your comfort zone. And once you stretch a little bit, you've got this whole new area. That line that is uncomfortable is further away, and you've got more resources that you can use. Okay, enough ranting. I'm getting myself too worked up here. Look, learn stuff. Learn as much as you can online. Read books. If you want, get paid training. If you're to that point where that's the time, my training or somebody else's, some reputable training out there, somebody else's training that's reputable, get that. But learn the skills and have them in between your ears, and then no matter where you land, you can do the job. You can be a good investigator. Always keep it within your methods and sources and tactics within the realm of what's ethical and what's legal, which is what I remind you every week when I close out saying that this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.